and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am your host, Data T, and this is my channel, The Good Guys. Guys, today's story comes out of Louisville, Kentucky, and the title reads, Grand Jury Not Indicting Shively Animal Clinic Shooter Called It Self-Defense. Now, guys, this is a little bit different. This is more of the aftermath, and I do want to cover this because this is what we would expect in a self-defense shooting, but after we get to the stage where we get to the court, what happens in the courtroom, and then if there's a guilty verdict, if there's not a guilty verdict, what happens after that, okay? And this story is going to cover that, and I wanted to show that to you, okay? But before we get to that, if you guys wouldn't mind leaving a like, leaving a comment, subscribe. Remember, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I know we can get there with your help. And guys, you can also hit me on Twitter, on Minds, and even on Truth Social. So, without further ado, let's us start and begin.
Speaking with the family and the attorney of Trent Taylor, they tell me they were not shocked when the grand jury chose not to indict the person who killed him.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know what to think about this.
More than 5 weeks after Trent Taylor Jr. was shot and killed, his family and an attorney found out Wednesday a grand jury chose not to indict the shooter on manslaughter or reckless homicide charges. The Commonwealth's attorney's office says the shooting, which started with a verbal argument, was in self-defense.
My son died over a dog.
To the vet clinic.
Over a woman who couldn't pay the bill for her dog. That's why my son's dead, over a dog.
WLKY is not naming the shooter since no charges were brought against her. The Commonwealth's attorney says evidence presented to the grand jury showed 21-year-old Taylor was the initial aggressor against a woman and her spouse, and that several video angles showed Taylor striking the woman and her spouse. Witnesses said Taylor slammed the woman's spouse against a wall and had his arm across her throat.
I do not believe he was the initial aggressor in the entire fracas that occurred at the clinic that day.
David Maurer, the attorney representing the family, says he believes the case wasn't pushed hard enough.
I can assure you, if the prosecutor believed in this and took it to the grand jury and pushed, there would have been an indictment if they'd have wanted an indictment too.
Now, guys, take a look at this, okay? And it's interesting that the lawyer is saying this, okay? And that the family of the supposedly aggressor, okay, is trying to seek some kind of justice. But I want you guys to pay attention here. From the evidence, from what we see, what was presented in this short clip here, the 21-year-old boy was the aggressor. Okay, maybe he was selling a dog. Who knows? Okay, he went to go grab the money. They didn't have it. Maybe they struck some kind of deal. But does that mean you put your hands on them? You are 21-year-old. There are multiple camera angles with you shown as the aggressor. Your elbow pressed onto a woman. There, at no point should he have put her hands on her. Now, if they made threatening remarks to him, if he felt like he was in a position where it was self-defense, guys, who knows? We don't know. I think in any case, if it was ever going to get physical, he should have just walked away. He could have called the police. And when you are conducting transactions, okay, I remember this. We've covered a story where there was a person who was, it was either they were selling a game station, shoes, a vehicle, and then these jokers came out of nowhere to rob them. Okay, so we are in that age where we need to probably do transactions, especially with people we do not know. We do them in front of police. We do them in an open area. But this case was at their house. And I gotta say, the 21-year-old here, he sounds guilty. And I understand how the father is feeling. He has lost his son. It could be his only son. Right? It's very sad here what this has happened. But I tell you, the self-defender, which is the woman, okay, I cannot call her a good guy because I don't know the entire case. It sounds like the 21-year-old is the aggressor. If I put money on it, I would say he probably was. Okay? These kids these days, if they got angles of him, he probably was a hothead. Or he wasn't. My money is he probably was. Now, what happens after? This woman has gone to court. She has been judged by her peers in a way, okay? She did not get indicted, okay, by the attorney general, prosecutor, whoever. And they said, hey, you know what? This is self-defense. If we were ever caught in this situation, this is what we would all want, especially if we self-defended ourselves. If we are the ones that are on the side of the gun, we use it to defend someone that we love, our family, our person, our property. This is the other side, the family. And what I hate, okay, is when the aggressor, the suspect, the criminal, when his family comes out and then they decide to get a lawyer. Now, I'm pretty sure, I think I know what happens after this short 22 seconds that's left, but let's hear it anyway.
Ensue.
But it's far from over. Maurer says he plans on filing a civil lawsuit against the shooter in the coming weeks.
Obviously, massive.
Okay, guys, so what I thought was going to happen did happen. They're going to do a civil lawsuit. And this is what happens to self-defenders. I wish there was a law that said if you are found guilty of a criminal act and you have successfully defended yourself and you have been ruled as a self-defender, as self-defense, they can't come after you civilly. I wish they would do something like this. Okay? Civilly, yes, we understand that now you can't, you're not going to go to jail, but he has the very likely potential outcome of losing his livelihood. The wife and the husband. Okay, they could lose their house, they could lose their car, they could lose their pension, they could lose their 401k after somebody who's an aggressor supposedly come after them and then take everything they got. It's a sad case, and I really don't know if this should be allowed in modern day society, that you can go after a person civilly. It's terrible. Especially if you are the self-defender, especially if you're the good guy. Let's hear the rest of the story.
Disappointment for the family that they've been denied justice here, but there are other ways to get justice in the civil courts, which is what we will pursue.
Shaquille Lord, WLKY News.
Now, Taylor's family tells us that they plan on creating a nonprofit in his memory.
So, guys, seeing that, it is a sad case for this particular young man, 21 years old, to lose his life. It's me being a father, guys, and I know I've talked about it now. I couldn't imagine it. I really couldn't. Okay, and over a dog. Over an animal, and the father is right, over a dog. My son died over a dog. over a woman who couldn't pay the bill. That's why my son is dead. It is so sad. I feel that father's pain, the mother's pain. It looks like the two of them were there. Who knows what he does for a living? Mom looked like she was a nurse. She had scrubs on, and they had to get a lawyer. Who knows how much they got to pay that lawyer to go after and over 21-year-old over a dog. It is disheartening. Okay, but I will tell you, in my opinion, and this is just my own bias. It's not a bias, but and I tell you what, you could easily come to me and say, no, you weren't there, and it's true. Okay, but it sounds like to me he was the aggressor. That's what it sounds like to me. And if he was the aggressor, then this woman was a good guy. And if he really did pin her against the wall, she probably was in fear of her life, and that's why she shot and killed him. What else can we say? And guess what? If that is the case, then we support her ability to defend herself. And I say this all the time, we do not celebrate death. We don't. But we absolutely celebrate the ability to defend yourselves and defend others. Guys, sad story, okay? Sad story, no two ways about it. Guys, good people have guns, okay? Good people should always have guns. And if good people do nothing, there will be no good guys.